Good morning, friends. I'm just up, just making my usual cup of green tea. I slept okay last night, but I think I had a bit of a nightmare, so I've woken up feeling a bit jangled, I have to say. So I'm looking forward to quite a relaxing morning. I did read a little bit of the book I showed you last night, The Odd Woman and the City. I read another little section and really enjoyed it. So far, it's just the beginning. So she's just sharing, growing up in the Bronx and exploring New York and Manhattan specifically. And I was just really relating because she was talking about just the love of walking and walking the grid, and that is something that is one of my personal hobbies, and my mum also really enjoys doing that. So when she's here, and some days I don't film it because probably it's not that interesting to anyone else, but we literally just sometimes walk the grid of an area that we aren't familiar with, or we go down streets that we're like, oh, I don't know where that goes, and sometimes it's not that interesting, and other times we find little hidden gems. So I was enjoying just the beginning of that book so far anyway. I'm just making myself a little bit of Greek yogurt with granola and blueberries, which is kind of my favourite. I'm just going to try and... There we go. And then today's Sunday, and I don't have church until later on in the evening. But I'm actually going to see my friend Nadia again, because when we were hanging out yesterday, I remembered that I have John Lewis tea vouchers. I'm just thinking because I have them and my mum has them, so I'm using my mum's one and I'm going again tomorrow. But they every so often give you free teas or free tea and cake. And at the moment, I've got 2 free teas, so one to share with a friend. So I'll be going this afternoon, just before church, with Nadia to John Lewis. I'm either going to bring a book and read this time, or maybe I have been making some headway with my junk journaling watercolouring, so maybe that, but I'm not sure if I want to carry all of my, it's not heavy, but it just might be a bit bulky to church afterwards, like my watercolouring notebook and all of that. But we'll see, we shall see. But that is the plan for today. And at the moment it feels very clammy outside. I was thinking about sitting outside this morning for breakfast, but it is meant to rain. So I don't want to get all comfy and sit up outside for it only to start raining sort of 10 minutes after. So unfortunately, I think it's going to be an indoor day today, this morning. It was a very good call not to sit outside today because it's just started raining. It's gonna be one of those days. It's raining again. It's raining again. Oh, it looks so pretty with all the... So it looks like I'm miles high in the sky, but I am just in the John Lewis Cafe. Me and Nadia were so fortunate to get one of their window seats. We might have actually said a little prayer before we came in the building. But yeah, very blessed to have such a beautiful view. We've got our free drinks. It was my plan to actually get a cheese scone as well, but they're all sold out for the day. I guess because it's quite late actually, and it's a Sunday as well, which is probably one of their busier days. A little fun fact, if you've been in the John Lewis Cafe, a few years ago it actually used to be in a different part of the building, which also had quite a nice view, but nothing like this. And a friend of mine used to actually work at John Lewis part-time, and he said that this used to be the John Lewis staff room. And I guess at some point somebody must have thought we could be making money out of this view. So the staff, I don't know where the staff room is now, but apparently they got moved out and this became the cafe, which I have to say I'm very pleased about because it's a stunning view. Like, not 360 of Edinburgh, but a good 180 of Edinburgh, I feel. You can see over to Leith. Behind me there is Newtown. I think if you're maybe over that direction, might maybe see Calton Hill, I can't remember, but it's a really lovely spot. I know it's not an independent cafe, but I do really like coming here, especially if it is for a little while, because I don't feel so bad hogging a table, and we're still reading. Anyway, I better stop talking and actually read my book. Hello friends, so that's me back home, literally just in the door, and I'm gonna have, I think, a baked potato for dinner tonight, because with having church in the evening, it just means I come home absolutely starving. And because I was editing before, do be careful, almost stabbed my finger, because I was editing before I left and then went to John Lewis with Nadia, which was so lovely. We really enjoyed it. But it did mean that I wasn't as prepared as I could have been, or sometimes would be. I had planned to put some rice on to cook and would just have that when I came home. But tonight it's going to be a little roast potato, baked tatty. There we go. Excuse the mess. I think I've tried my best to crop the mess out of the video, but just before I left I was so close to finishing off the video I was working on, really so close. I feel like another 15 minutes and it could be saving and uploading, so I think while my tatty is cooking I will finish off the video, and then when I'm having my dinner it can be uploading, downloading then uploading. But overall, it was such a lovely afternoon. Really enjoyed sitting at John Lewis. It was actually really fun because the view across the north of Edinburgh, you could just really see the changes of the weather. Nadia had pointed out that it was raining out at sea, and then maybe 15 minutes later it was raining where we were, so it was fun to watch the weather. And then church was also really lovely. Got talking to some new people, so that was nice. And we just walked home afterwards. So yeah, very keen to have dinner. What time is it as well? Yeah, just a little after my usual time for dinner anyway. But yeah, I will catch up with you later on. I don't think today has been massively exciting or interesting, and I'm hoping that it will actually be long enough to share. But yeah, I'm just going to finish editing this video once my computer decides to power up properly. So if you watched yesterday's episode, you'll know that I was really proud of myself because I was in bed at 11:30 and I was all organised and I was having an early night for me. Well, today's just the opposite of that. Basically, once I got back from church, I had a somewhat late dinner, I guess, and then I edited my video and got it up, and then I spent the rest of my time, well, not the whole time, but an embarrassing amount of time just doom scrolling started off on YouTube with YouTube Shorts, having a little scroll, and then I thought I should probably get off YouTube because I've been scrolling for a while. And didn't I then just go onto Instagram and start scrolling there? So it is now, let's just see what time it is. It's now just coming to 1 a.m. and because I just had a baked potato for my dinner, which would be totally fine if I went to bed at 11:30, but now it's 1 and I'm peckish. So I've made myself some extremely buttery toast. And I recently tried, random tangent, but I recently tried Jason's, I think they're called Jason's sourdough. I've just found them in a supermarket. I actually got them on sale. And I actually really like this sourdough. Obviously not, in my opinion, as good as the really expensive sourdough that you get special, like from artisan bakeries, but a whole lot better than any supermarket sourdough I've ever tried. So would recommend. And it wasn't too expensive. Well, to be fair, I got mine for 80p a loaf, so very cheap. But I think it was maybe £2 or something, full price. Anyway, didn't expect to go down the sourdough chats with you, but I'm just going to have my buttery toast. And I've actually moved my lamp because I figured since I've spent near 2 hours on my phone, potentially, mostly doom scrolling, I am hoping that by reading my little non-fiction, The Odd Woman in the City, that will just help my brain switch off a little bit and help me feel a little bit more sleepy. So yeah, I think today's video has been a mostly rambling one, just kind of chatty, hanging out at home, and then a lovely time with Nadia and church. So I will leave you here. I'm going to have my toast, read my book, and I hope that you're all doing well. Thank you so much if you've made it this far. I'm hesitant to say this because the last twice I've said I'm, maybe vlogging every day for a week or vlogging every day for a month. It hasn't worked out. So this time I thought we're just going to try and vlog for a week. And if it's 4 days, it's 4 days. If it's 3 days, it's 3 days. So yeah, I just don't want to, in my eyes, fail again. So anyway, thank you all so much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. That was a very enthusiastic wave.